What's up, Ravens? And tonight, episode 2 of Game Day Vlogs Northwest. We have Olathe Northwest versus Shawnee Mission East. Damon's blowout. Let's go! SK, what do you think the score is going to be?
1,000 to 0. 28-7 Northwest.
28-21 Northwest.
Okay. 27 to 6.
What do you think the score is going to be tonight?
I think the score is going to be 24-0 Ravens.
What do you think the score is going to be tonight?
100-0 to us because it's home field territory. And
40,
no, don't listen to it. Don't listen.
43 to 21.
No.
What do you think the score is going to be tonight?
I think the score is going to be 40-0.
40-0.
Yeah, we're going to win by a lot.
2 seconds later.
So now we're going to do a new section where I'm going to go into the booth and give you guys a little inside scoop on what all goes on during a football broadcast. So Weston, can you explain what all goes on during a football broadcast from a commentator's perspective?
And they like do tons of stuff like
so
Kansas
the
City,
play-by-play, you're basically calling the play every single time, and then commentating, you're analyzing what just happened, what needs to be done, and
maybe not on the field, but
whether or not it was a good idea or not.
So can you explain what all goes on during a football broadcast from TriCaster point, or can you explain what a TriCaster is?
So for a TriCaster football broadcast, you essentially hit a bunch of these buttons up here and make sure it looks pretty good. You know, when Micah scores a touchdown, you want to make sure that we get the best angle.
So Jonah, can you explain really what goes on with the camera as we do a live stream? Like, what are some things that are going on through the headset, what they're saying, and what all do you have to do?
So basically I have whoever's on the TriCaster up there telling me how to angle the camera, then I move it accordingly to what they tell me. Basically, as far as the camera goes, just listen to them and just follow the players.
A few moments later.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Alright, so this week, here we are with another pregame interview. Here I'm with
Jacob Bowers, Christopher McCormick, Jeremiah Cook, Drew Sheets,
Gavin Dines. Okay, to start off the question, you guessed it right last week. Who is going to get MVP?
I gotta go Max Keller.
East has won the coin toss and has chosen to receive.
I got it wrong last week. I think I'm gonna have to stick with Jacob here. Max Keller, okay? You know, I'm gonna go something different, you know. I have to go for my dad. EJ Butler, he's gonna go crazy in this game. I can feel it already.
But that is not always the case. So please, always be respectful towards our officials and keep in mind their family members may be sitting around you.
Get the most receiving yards.
If you would like to join the third team as a common official or umpire, contact your athletic director or visit the website www.callthegame.com.
Schlitting hard.
Hot take.
Honestly, I think it's gonna be number 47. I think he's gonna go crazy this game.
Who's 47?
The boy.
I'm going with my boy Bradley Gildart. You know, he's going to have a massive game today. You heard it here.
Sticking with Chris over there, number 6, Schlitty, Mason Schlittenhart. Who's going to get the most rushing yards?
I think they're gonna throw my boy Kenny Gobelin, number 25.
Max Keller.
I'm gonna agree with them. Max Keller.
I'll take you, Dad. inside during football games, we are going to take an inside look at what happens in concessions. Okay, so I'm here with Hallie DeForest. Hallie, what usually goes on during concessions? What all do you have to do? What all goes into work pre-game, during game, after?
First of all, it's a lot of chaos. It's a lot of cleaning up. It's really hard to hear people. It's a lot of making food, prepping food. It's really chaotic. It's not much to go through. You can look at it. I mean.
So Ella, what would you say all goes on here in concessions?
Okay, so we have a lot of food. We have hot dogs, we have popcorn, we have Coke, we have like a bunch of drinks, we have all types of M&Ms. So like any food you want for the game, you can get it here. Wait, what?
A few moments later. Two seconds later.
Let's go! Oh, that's the Hulk ONW, baby! Oh, let's go!
What are you going to do?
We're going to steal the moon, then we party!
Hey, week 2, another win on homecoming, 28-14, our Ravens won! Let's go!
Drum major. It's the band ready. The field is yours. Countdown. Right down. 2, 1.
Good morning, Ravens, and welcome to ONW Now. I'm Keaton Code alongside
Lucas Conover, and we hope you had a great homecoming week, Ravens. I know I did.
Me too, Lucas. We have a huge show today with stories on the chili cook-off, student nat, our ONW counselors,
medical club, powder puff, and a story on our very own Dennis Hanners.
Wow, that's a lot, Lucas. Let's roll that intro.
This past weekend was the 35th annual Lenexa Chili Challenge, where many people show off not only their chili, but their wings, cornbread, and salsa. Let's take it to Zach Koech and Liz Crane for the scoop.
The environment of the chili contest was chill and like a party, with a lot of people there just enjoying the chili and hanging out with their family and friends.
I think it's family friendly with a little bit of carnival-like atmosphere. I don't know. It's not carnival, but it is a spectacle. People are out and they're having fun in fall, and the weather's nice, so it's just a great fun environment, I think. So
it's super fun, and the biggest thing for us is that to compete is very stress-free. So I mean, it's not much to do it, and it's just awesome.
To prepare for the judging, most people get to the contest early in the morning and make sure they have all their ingredients and supplies to start cooking.
Well, we do practices, so then we have family over to taste test, and we can adjust in that way and make sure that it's what the public might like.
a little bit of organization, and then once you get out here, you got to make sure that you've brought everything, because once you're here, and it's hard to get back to wherever you're at. So.
Many of the contestants have won in the past for their chili, hot wings, and salsas.
Yes, our 2014 first in salsa, 2014 placed third in wings, sixth place. But yeah, this was good. Our salsa is to die for.
All right, guys, now we're gonna taste the famous chili.
You're gonna be honest, Zach.
I'll be honest. That's really good chili. I think the tomatoes make it really good. Same with the beef and the beans.
Is that a little too spicy?
No, I like the spiciness. All right.
What a rootin' tootin' chili cook-off. And for ONW Now, this has been Zach Koech. Now back to the desk.
I gotta say, Lucas, that chili was some of the best I've ever had.
Speaking of the best, the students over at Olathe Northwest love Student Naturalist, where they have the opportunity to learn more about these awesome animals. Keely Loney has more on the story.
Olathe Northwest offers a variety of different science classes, a fan favorite being Student Naturalist, where students get to learn and take care of many different animals.
We have snakes, we have lizards, we have a crowd favorite alligator, we have 2 very large snakes, we have some rabbits, hedgehog, guinea pigs, chinchillas, an iguana.
A misconceived notion about Student Nat is that it's just hanging out with animals all day.
So beyond being the traditional student coming in, doing the homework, doing any classwork, students are assigned an animal, and they keep that for 2 weeks. They are wholly responsible for the care of that animal. They have to go back, clean the cages, feed them, know what they eat. If the animal needs cleaning, take care of that. So we always start out with like a taxonomy, where we learn about specifically naming of animals, because science has its own language. So we use that to kind of give an understanding of how we categorize things to understand what they are. Then we learn about the mechanics of evolution and what drives the diversity of species. And then we learn about indigenous species. So we learn about insects and amphibians and reptiles and mammals, but we learn about it from a complexity standpoint.
Along with the amazing resources we have, there's one more thing that could make the animals even more cared for.
I have a dream of building outdoor pens. I think it'd be phenomenal to let the kids also have the ability to plan and implement that plan to construct something so we can take these animals that get stuck indoors all the time and put them outside to experience the fresh air.
Dr. Young's teaching is what makes the class and the students successful.
It's something that lets me convey my passion of animals towards the students and hopefully inspire them to take care of them as well. So students who take this class have to have sort of an internal drive to be successful and an internal drive to care, if that makes sense. And so I allow kids a lot of freedom for the opportunity to govern their time, but it falls on their shoulders. I have kids who come in and they're terrified of things, and I ask them to put their trust in me, and they do, and by the end of it, they push themselves outside their normal comfort boundaries, so that's a great thing about it.
For ONW Now, this has been Keely Loney. Now back to the desk.
Keaton, aren't you in Student Nat?
That's right. Right now I'm with Bella, one of our awesome guinea pigs.
Student Nat sure has been busy. You know who else has been busy? Our ONW counselors. Let's take it to Evan Stanfield to hear more about our new counselors and how they can help you.
This year at ONW, we have 3 new counselors joining us. I wanted to learn more about their experience so far.
Oh man, it's always crazy moving to new school. I've been in 7 high schools in my career, so just learning the kids, learning the teachers, learning the layout of the school. It's fun because it's exciting, everything's so new.
Well, it's been exciting and challenging at the same time. I had been in my last district for a lot of years, so I knew everybody. So I didn't know when I came here anybody. So it's been challenging to, get to know all the new people, new faces, people to get to know me, figure out where everything's at, and stuff like that.
I love that there are so many things for kids to get involved in. I love, when I can, walk around the hallways and to see just all the different things that kids are doing. The school is much, much bigger than my last school, so being able to see just, more student activity is really, really cool to see.
Over the years, mental health seems to be the top priority for counselors and one of the biggest issues for students.
It is very important. It's become, over the past few years, even more challenging for students. You know, we've had a lot of changes in the last, few years as we went through COVID and the experiences like that. And, we're seeing a greater need, in our students and stuff like that, and a greater need for support.
But yeah, I see mental health as one of the things kids are struggling more and more. So since I started 18 years ago, probably the biggest difference between then and now, at least, is how much additional stress, anxiety, and depression I see in students. So working with kids to find that they can get through that's so important, just because it impacts everything else in the world.
There are multiple ways to set up an appointment to get help.
So the best way to do it is you could come to Student Services and set up an appointment with our wonderful secretary. But I think the easiest and fastest way would be to go to the website, go to Student Services, under Counseling, and then under my name is my Calendly link. And so that'll show you my calendar, and so my availability and yours, and you set up a appointment, and then I'll make a hall pass for you to come and see me.
If you need help or just want to get to know these 3 wonderful counselors, be sure to stop by Student Services to make an appointment. For ONW Now, this has been Evan Stanfield. Now back to the desk.
Our counselors sure do a lot for our school. Next up, some insight on the medical club, where they take a deeper look at everything medical, such as having guest speakers talk to the members of the club here at ONW. Evan Slife has more in the story.
What's up, Raven Nation? I'm Evan Slife. We're here at room 1113 for Medical Club. I'm here to learn. Let's get right into it.
The Medical Club is a student-directed club here at ONW.
It's a low commitment. It's just one meeting every other week. There's not much you have to do outside of it, and it's fun.
I would say that it's student-led, so as much as you put in, you will get out. Also, it's not a huge commitment like other clubs. You won't have to spend hours outside of school on it. You can spend as much time as you want. We're pretty lenient with that.
The Medical Club is always looking for more members. There are many ways to join the club.
If you see one of us in the hallway, just run up to us. We'll tell you all the information. We have group me codes on posters around the school normally. You can email Ms. Cohan or come talk to her.
We have a meeting in 2 weeks, so on October 19th, and you just come to that and we can get you into group me, or you can email Ms. Cohan, the anatomy teacher, and she can get you hooked up.
We talk about fundraising. We get guest speakers to inform us on different medical professions, and we're planning on going on some field trips, medical-based, to hospitals to help out, to volunteer, to shadow. We try to give you hands-on experience, we're trying to order suture kits right now, and we do glove races and teach you how to put on sterile gloves, things like that.
Other than learning about all the activities in Medical Club, joining the club comes with other benefits too.
I'd say that you're joining a really fun group dynamic, and you will get to do tons of hands-on experiences that will help you. And even if you're just a little bit interested in medical professions, come, because you never know. Maybe you'll end up finding something you really like to do.
You gain experience. If you are interested in medicine, it's definitely a good opportunity because you learn more about the field and see if it's really right for you. It's kind of a high school initiative project for everyone.
For ONW Now, this has been Abbott's Life. Now back to the desk.
Ravens had an amazing Hoko week of sports. Let's take it to Liam and Nathan for game day.
It's game day. Our football team played the Shawnee Mission East Lancers this past Thursday, running them over with a 28-14 victory. Max Keller's 3rd touchdown in the 4th quarter secured the W for the Ravens. We hit the field again this Friday versus Shawnee Mission West at 7 p.m. at the Shawnee Mission South Stadium.
Our boys soccer team played at Seaback last night against the Olathe South Falcons. In the 5th minute, senior Noah Conover scored a goal to tie up the game 1-1, but sadly lost to the Falcons 4-1, dropping their record 7-3-2. But you can find the next game at Seaback at 7 p.m. for senior night.
Last Thursday, our volleyball team took the throne at the top of the Sunflower League for the 3rd year in a row after a win over Olathe South. And last night, they beat Olathe East 2-1 in the annual Dig Pink game. They hit the court again this Thursday with a match against Blue Valley West at 6 p.m. and a tournament this Saturday here at 8 a.m.
Your Lady Ravens tennis team went to regionals last weekend with Ellen Novian leading the charge, defeating the Blue Valley Northwest top player, getting 2nd in back-to-back years at regionals. And the team qualified for state, so congrats, team.
Our gymnastics team is headed to state once again after taking 3rd at Newton this past Saturday. Get the broom out, because Amy Keller swept out the competition, taking 1st place all around for like the 100th time this year. She's got to be tired from winning this much. State Gymnastics is on October 22nd, hosted by Olathe South. Good luck, girls.
And finally, our cross-country team will be heading over to Rim Rock Farms at 9 a.m. So good luck, boys and girls.
That's been it for Game Day. I'm Liam.
And I'm Nathan Lowen.
Thank you.
Another successful helmet toss. Speaking of game day, our junior and senior Powder Puff players took the field last Wednesday to battle for the annual title. Of course, our seniors came up on top once again. Let's take to Tristan Wilson to see a little bit more about this battle of a game.
Hey Ravens, this year's homecoming week just ended, chocked full of fun activities and events. None more fun and anticipated than Powder Puff. We talked to players and coaches about the game and how they prepared.
Okay, so who do you think is going to win and why?
Seniors are obviously going to win. We're just way more prepared. We've got more skill. We've got more athleticism. We're going to win. No doubt about it.
What have you been doing to prepare for the game?
Practicing. We've been practicing. We've been watching some film. We've been going over some plays. We got it all written down. The girls have studied it. It's game time.
And then, are you the hardest working person on this team?
Absolutely not. I got to give the hardest working to all the girls who play. They've worked their butt off these 4 practices we had, and it's been a ride.
How do you feel the game went?
I feel we had a great performance today. We had a lot of energy. We just went out, did what we came to do. We conquered the juniors.
Yeah.
Easy job! Woo! As seniors, it's kind of one of our last hurrahs to get together, have some fun. We like to be competitive, but it's also nice to take it as a good. It's really fun. I agree.
And that's all we have for you, Ravens. We hope you enjoyed this year's Powder Puff game and all the amazing plays that were made. For ONW Now, this has been Tristan Wilson. Now back to the desk.
On September 28th, Hurricane Ian hit the Gulf Coast of Florida, leaving hardly anything behind. Our very own Cece Koparanian traveled to Anna Maria Island in Florida to talk to locals about the storm.
Cece Koparanian here, and I am on Anna Maria Island, just south of Tampa on the Gulf Coast, days after a Category 5 hurricane was targeted to hit where I am standing right now. Hurricane Ian blew through the Gulf Coast September 28th to the 29th. Days before that, Anna Maria residents were told to evacuate. Most of them did. Those who stayed were fortunate enough to find out that last minute Hurricane Ian changed its path by just 50 miles, saving this tiny island and its people from devastation.
So I went through something like this once for the first time in my life back then, in 2017. So I sort of knew what to expect other than if a storm surge came through.
William was one of the few people who stayed on the island during the hurricane.
I never really felt anxious because I was in the second story all the time, and if I had to, I could move up to the third story. And I also had plenty of food and water, drinking water.
William has worked on the island as an overall handyman for over 3 years.
I have my regular customers, and once the storm got over, because I stayed on the island, I was able to get out here quickly and evaluate the damage for all of them. My work is ramped up. It'll ramp up even more.
The work of small business owners have ramped up all over Anna Maria as well.
I was very scared that we were going to lose everything in here, and not just that, just the piece of history that it's always been. It's kind of more than just the products. It's a lot of, my husband grew up in here and memory, so that was kind of the thing we thought about a lot.
This cute little shop has been family owned for over 3 generations, putting pressure on Julia and her family to protect it from Hurricane Ian.
We took everything up off the ground as much as we could. We put things in bags. We brought things out to the shed and took everything out and brought it up higher. And then Tuesday we came in, we boarded everything up, we sandbagged, and we, took everything in from outside.
Luckily for Julia and every other Anna Maria resident, the storm shifted its course last minute.
The island got really lucky. We feel for our people, definitely our neighbors south of us.
The people of Anna Maria give their thoughts and prayers to those more severely impacted and are extremely grateful for Mother Nature's grace. For ONW Now, this has been Cece Koparanian. Now back to the desk.
You are in our thoughts and our prayers, Florida. Next up, we have a story on our very own Dennis, who recently switched his role here at ONW. Liz Crane has more on the story.
One of the things I could do after I retired was unarmed security.
Dennis worked as a security guard for many years. Let's see what he does now at Olathe Northwest.
But when Mr. Zook told me that Olathe School District wasn't going to renew the contract with Rockwell, he at the same time wondered if I might want to do a pair job.
Dennis actually does not
come into IPS. He works with our students who go out to go to like art classes, and he'll go to art classes with them. Library, I'm trying to think of all the things. They go to libraries, read books, and
I've learned a lot from those young people, and I've always been kind of involved with them, you know, to befriending them out in the halls and that, but it's a little different when you're responsible for them. And I love people, and those are special people. Now, actually, I've learned a lot by watching the other paras over the years.
one student that I have on my caseload absolutely adores Dennis.
Caleb.
He calls him Dennis the Menace.
He's always positive. He's always, joking, and I don't know. It's a joy. So I love my job.
As you can see, Dennis is still making an impact throughout the school, no matter his role. Make sure you say hi to him whenever you see him in the hallways. And for ONW Now, this has been Liz Crane. Now, back to the desk.
Wow, we are so grateful to have Dennis here at our school. Next up, we have insight on a local farmers market. Let's pass it to Nicholas Woodworth for more on the story.
Buying locally is one of the hottest trends in the food sector today. As a result, the opportunities for farmers to sell directly to consumers continue to rapidly grow. Among these opportunities is the Olathe Farmers Market. And now, let's see what the shoppers have to say.
I would say to at least within this little micro-universe, you see a lot of the same people week to week. I enjoy being able to subsidize local growers, local food producers. I like being able to pick out the food. I like being outside. This checks a lot of boxes for us. When they have a great variety of produce, there's also an outfit called the Baumans that have locally raised and butchered animal products. So if you want meat or eggs or dairy, they have a great selection. They're very friendly.
Now, that was a great interview. Let's take a look at the often underappreciated side of the market, the vendors.
Well, we were actually one of the founding vendors here 9 years ago. It was us and Miss Trish and her crew over there. But we've been in the business for about 25 years. The community outreach is a huge part of our business. Whether we have community people from every walk of life come through here and buy produce, and we really enjoy being able to meet them and hear their stories. I typically get here about 5 o'clock in the morning, so pretty early, and we set up, we do tents first, tables, and then of course produce, or sometimes pumpkins first depending on who has it.
More info on where and when the Olathe Farmers Market takes place can be found on the Olathe website.
Come by the Olathe Farmers Market. We'd love to have you.
Well, that's all we have for you today, Ravens. Be sure to follow us on all of our socials at The Raven Network and the website, theravendaily.com.
We hope you have a great rest of your Tuesday and enjoy your 4-day weekend underclassmen and your 5-day weekend seniors. Signing off, this has been Lucas Conover and
Keaton Code. Raven Nation,
let's fly!